Hello everybody, and a very warm welcome back to the Behind the Skies channel once again. Today we are taking a look at a brand new product coming soon exclusively to Contrail, vRAAS. If you are interested in checking it out for yourself or wanting to pick it up, I'll leave a link in the description down below. But without further ado, let's jump into today's video. Okay then, today I'm going to be taking a quick flight from Manchester to Heathrow in the Phoenix Airbus A320. Now vRAAS is a really cool add-on that is compatible with a large range of aircraft, including the one I'm flying today, the Phoenix Airbus A320. In terms of the iFly 737 MAX, it does have its own built-in RAAS, so the program automatically has it disabled, but if you would like the notifications or the navigational displays, you can of course turn it on, which is a very cool feature, nice and handy as well. Now this program does have auto updates, which is also a really cool feature, so you can, when new aircraft are available, it will automatically update ready for you to use it. Now vRAAS has been developed to enhance your simulator experience with lots of fantastic announcements and other goodies, including speed and flap monitoring, runway announcements and more, all of which you can customise to your preferences. We will take a little look at that in a little bit. Okay then, we're taxiing out to the runway then here at Manchester. While we do, let's take a look at some of the features included with the app. So here is the app itself. It is quite a nice and simple design, which makes it really easy for you to understand and really easy for you to use as well. Now we're going to do a test here. I haven't set my takeoff flaps, as you can see, and once we get to the runway it should tell us that we need to check our flaps. So just going to pull up Navigraph charts to get us taxiing out to the correct holding point for our departure today. Now if we take a look at the test button here,
okay, feet,
we can see that we get the pop-up on our navigational display saying the RAAS is okay. And if you didn't have it connected to your simulator, it would say RAAS inoperative, for example, other things like that. Really nice and simple, and then it will all pop on your ND and in this box as well. If we take a look at the general settings, we can see there is a lot of customizability included with the app, so we can increase the volume levels, the audio quality. I've engaged auto start with the sim, so once the sim starts, the program will automatically boot up, and when I close the sim as well, it will also close down. Really good, and of course you can change your devices and volume, all of that jazz. So then, to check whether your aircraft is compatible, it will say what your current aircraft is, and you can customise that to how you like it, aircraft wise, or for all of your aircraft you can also do a bit of customisation as well. So you can change your voices.
36 right.
I quite like Jenny.
Runway 36 right.
All of the aircraft display stuff, you can change that. So if you only want the cautions or the non-routine, I want all of them on the display. So we will we'll leave it at that. So it will monitor our flaps, the approach angle. If our approach is looking too high, that will tell us altimeter settings, long landing, and there is so much customizability all included. And we'll take a little further look once we get airborne. So if we pop the brakes on, we can just minimize that for now. If we look upstairs, we can get all of the lights on. Let's taxi onto the runway, and hopefully it will tell us that our flaps haven't been deployed yet. So we're doing a flaps 1 departure today, and we'll hear all of the RAAS in action Now the other competitor to this is FS2 Crew, and I also have the FS2 Crew RAAS, but I feel it is quite clunky compared to this. It's a much more difficult app to navigate, whereas this is nice and simple. Just a few buttons you can click, lots more customizability in my opinion. Cool, let's line up onto the runway then. And it will tell us that we've lined up and we are approaching the runway. Because of the displaced threshold, we need to go forward a bit further, but it will
on runway 23 right.
Flaps. Flaps.
see, so because we're on the runway and we don't have our flaps deployed, we've got a nice flaps warning there. Also, it has told us in the box up here that our flaps are not out as well. So we can deploy our flaps, ready for departure, just like so, and then we can blast out of Manchester. So let's go. Manflex SRS Auto Thrust Blue. Takeoff power set. Airspeed live. Passing through 80 knots, we'll start to ease back on nose pressure. And there's 100 knots. We are neutral. Passing V1 and rotate. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Doing a bit of heading select, we can pop in a direct. Thrust climb, or thrust.
Altimeter setting.
So it's giving us a warning for our altimeter, so our altimeter is slightly off. I did that just to see whether that worked as well. So we will correct that shortly. And we can engage the autopilot. Beautiful. Alright then, we're going to continue our climb, and then once we get up to our cruising altitude for today, we will take a further look into the details of all of the specific announcements. Okay then, as you can see, we have passed through our transition altitude and we're getting the altimeter setting warning. So as soon as we go over to standard pressure, you can immediately see that the warning has disappeared. A really cool feature that is included. There are so many fantastic features that we are going to discover through this program, and I hope you guys are excited to take a look. Okay then, as we continue to climb away, let's take a look at a few more included features inside of the program. So if we take a look at the flap monitor, that will basically, as I demonstrated, if we don't have our takeoff flaps, or if we are landing and we don't have the appropriate flaps deployed, it will give us a warning and tell us, look, you need to get your flaps sorted, quick. Of course, you've got standard things, approach angle monitor, so if you are at your angle is way too high or too low, it will tell you. It's really cool nowadays. You've got this modern technology that can really be a lifesaver. If you were too high and you had no idea, then that is a really good thing to have, an extra measure to have. Altimeter setting wise, of course, I showed you that a few moments ago. Transition altitude, if we are not changing the altimeter, that will tell us. this is a really cool feature. So long landing, if you're trying so hard to butter the bread, but you land outside of the touchdown zone, or you're not going to have enough landing or runway to stop, it will say long landing, all of that. Basically telling you don't have enough runway. And of course you can change all these, so if you hover over it, it will tell you the information. So flap monitor, check if flaps are in the landing position, the upper gate, lower gate, approach thing, altimeter. To the deep landing, you're able, instead of the long landing, you can change it to play deep landing. Things like that, all of the small little touches that you would never really think of. Of course, the approaching runway, the on runway, so approaching 26 left, or on runway 26 left. You know, if you've watched IRL pilots and the aircraft has RAAS, you would know. So if it's a short runway, you get a warning, and of course approaching the runway you can get all of the information on there, short runway landing, and so many cool features. So if you had for example a rejected takeoff, it would tell you how much distance is remaining. So during your RTO, it would tell you, for example, 5,000 feet remaining, or 1,500 meters remaining, all the way down until the runway end. And you can make it play during the rejected takeoff, during the landing. I've just left them both on, which I quite like. So there is so many features with this. Taxiway takeoff, taxiway landing. The possibilities are endless on what you want to choose. And yeah, one thing I eventually think the developers of this program could bring, which would be absolutely incredible, is a cloud system. So of course the modern airliners, the airlines, have to buy third-party programs to power RAAS. And one thing I would like to see is a cloud system where you can share profiles with the community on what real airlines do. So for example, not all airlines may use every single option or have different settings and stuff. If you were trying to recreate real ops, like for example British Airways, who we're flying with today, it would be really, really cool to see what British Airways use. And for example, if they didn't use it, then there would be a profile with just nothing. I think there are so many possibilities, and we're going to take a look at the approach side in just a moment once we start our descent. Okay then, here we go. We're about to shoot the ILS approach for runway 27 left into London Heathrow, and we're going to start deploying our flaps and slats ready for our landing. So we're going to set flaps 1 as we make our initial turn, capturing the glass slope and the localizer, just like so. Gorgeous. Really, really nice approach flying over London today. We're going to go ahead and set flaps 2, and as we can see, the RAAS we will leave for now, and that will start showing us some information. So if we're going to get too low, too high, etc., it will show us on the navigational display, which is really, really cool. So we've got auto brakes set to low. Our ground spoilers can be armed. There is the runway straight ahead of us. We're going to pop the gear down and go flaps 3 in just a moment. Cool, let's go gear down, flaps 3. There's the Twickenham Rugby Stadium. There we go, flaps full. This is an approach very familiar for me. Cool, and then hopefully if I've set everything up correctly, we'll get an announcement saying approaching 27 left. And once we vacate, we'll get an announcement as well. So what I might do is I might experiment going a bit too low and see what it says. So I'm going to take manual control now. I'm going to dip a little bit below that approach angle. So it'd be relatively low. We'll go for all reds on the pappies. And just experiment really, see what it says. Test the program to its full capabilities. Maintain a relatively low approach.
Light slope.
Approaching 27 left.
There we go, there's the approaching 27 left. Doesn't seem to care that we are very low.
Altimeter setting.
Of course, this is still an early access product, so maybe a few issues here and there, but team are hard at work ironing out all of the bugs. And we'll just get back on that glide path. If you're familiar with plane spotting at London Heathrow, there's the Myrtle Avenue field just down there.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
GPWS is giving us all kinds of issues today. There you go, Myrtle Avenue is just behind there, and then you got where Big Jet TV often goes for this runway.
Don't sink.
And we're going to try and butter the bread. Do a really long float.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
But because we're small.
30.
Don't sink.
20. Retard.
Don't sink.
Retard.
Don't sink.
Okay, let's see. Very firm landing there. Cool. Let's pull out the reversers. We're going to bring them in. We're going to take control of the brakes. And what we're going to do, I'm not going to touch the brakes, not going to touch anything. Just going to let the aircraft roll out. And
5,000
there we go.
Remaining.
It's telling us how much runway we have left.
4,000 remaining.
We'll go right the way to the end.
3,000 remaining.
Still going quite quick, so it's a bit of manual braking.
2,000 remaining. Remaining.
Okay, well, don't want to overrun, so we're going to vacate off here. And a very warm welcome down to London Heathrow. Can cut some of these lights. Oh, bit off track. Oh dear. So there we have it, my friends. A nice little review of vRAAS for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It is a really fantastic add-on, and it is going to be coming very soon to the Contrail web shop. And be sure to use the link in the description down below. Helps the channel out on hold. And if you use our discount code, you'll be able to get a sneaky 10% off. thank you very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you in the next one. See you later.